Charles Kirby. He's the founder of SindyXR. So he is building a extended reality-based community that is in beta in the US with hopes to change the infrastructure of engagement with Gen Z and millennials fighting to collaborate informally with their direct reports, pediatric obesity with an endocrinologist, and convivial, gentle people with their brand of choice. So Charles, do you want to add anything and present CindyXR?
I would love to, Lavinia. Thank you. I love how you say gentle people. That is so important and often underemphasized in our current healthcare systems. Can you see this? Are you seeing slide 1? Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you to the other companies that are pitching tonight. My name is Charles Kirby. I'm a 3-time startup founder with 1 successful exit and another full of lessons. I specialize in building games, activations, experiences really, that grab audiences. And remote patient monitoring is now in place to disrupt in-person appointments. But so far, it misses a huge opportunity with Web3 tools. So my team and I have trained our sites on improving global healthcare. My company, SindyXR, offers scale and growth to medical practices by providing them virtual appointment, multi-disciplinary patient care rooms full of real-time data by optimizing smart contracts, machine learning, and AR/VR headsets. Imagine being able to leverage your digital twin to lower your A1C. But before I get into what we've built so far, let me tell you a little bit about the statistics. Let me give you a little frame of reference. 92% of women report some sense of body shame and disengage from their healthcare team, compartmentalizing the diagnosis. 99% of men report that making an appointment when they're able to focus and listen to the provider is impossible. And 67% of physicians report that getting the patient to take the medicine and follow their prescription is their #1 challenge. 1 in 5 Americans are wearing an Apple Watch, and the global Internet of Medical Things market is $142 billion. Noom, one of our competitors that only has a mobile strategy to help weight management, reports that users quit within 90 days of reporting failure because the platform's too gimmicky. And 85% of patients say they want to use smart devices to interact with their medical provider, but 70% of hospitals have apps, and fewer than 2% of patients actually use their hospital apps. And we think that the problem is that we're not getting every device that's available to empower the patients. So what we've done is started by embedding with Pounds Transformation in Hartford, Connecticut. They have 16,000 patients, and they rent 25,000 square feet of real estate in the Hartford area. SindyXR is a simple platform that integrates, kind of like, think of us as the Zapier of healthcare, with industry, electronic medical records, and remote patient monitoring software to add in that sticky element to the patient's journey. And as you can see here, we fit beautifully within what Goldman recently categorized as an $8 trillion Web3 space. And remote patient monitoring is actually just getting started, adopted by less than 10% of the US population so far. We are addressing the cardio disease prevention and weight loss markets and slicing through with even more of a specialty with our doctors that we're working with at Pounds with the keto diet emphasis. And I'll tell you a little bit more about our product roadmap later. But essentially, I think all of that contextualizes into technology has failed the patients and technology has overpromised and underwhelms providers. So we talked to hundreds of patients. I sat in the lobby of all 3 Pounds Transformation locations. And what we ended up realizing was that for all the data that you could offer, cardio, VO max, blinking, insulin delivery, ketosis ACEs, then you could also maybe use a wearable to track your steps and your GPS and your standing minutes, hydration and stress. But what you were missing was the ability to actually report your attitude, your awareness, your fatigue. And so what we did was we made it very easy for the doctor to toggle 2 of these trackable, wearable data, what we would call more objective data. And then we added in through gamification that third option, that third piece of data that the doctors were able to then have context on the patient portal, on facing each of the nutritionists whenever the patient checked in. We have basically, let me kind of walk you through what we have so far. And I would love to pause here and ask for questions. I'm going to keep going. Cindy virtual reality app. Basically, step 1, the doctor and the patient put on the headset separately. This is an Oculus from Meta. Then they're able to access, they arrive in an elevator where each of the cubes are made for each of the individual patients that have arrived to see the doctor that day. You go into the cube that appears to you as the patient. You only see the cubes that you've been invited into, and then you have the power to meet, as you see here on the right, as what we like to call a Cindy droid, a uncharacteristic, unrealistic avatar that empowers you to share data with the doctor at that meeting. And the way that we do that is a combination of Cindy's web app, where you can build the cubes, invite the team, and add assets and prescriptions for the patient. And then the app, the mobile app, that then gets given to the patient, where they can hook up an array of devices that you see here, plus more that we're adding every day. And then the gamification aspect of it, where not only do we incorporate food tracking through this cube idea that you can then walk inside of, like a 6-sided Pinterest board, but also a series of 20 questions games that really gather this, what we have to call, not objective data, right? More subjective data about how I'm feeling around each eating choice. The doctors here can tell you a little bit more about it.
And show us what augmented reality could do for the practice. We were in the process of just getting used to Zoom meetings with COVID and going kind of virtual. And so this was kind of like a just blow you away idea. You could actually put these goggles on and be in a room with a patient. Kirby's way in which he's done it allows patients to be whatever they want.
It's hard to walk into a clinic. My patients say, I don't want to go to a weight clinic. They can see themselves how they want or portray themselves as some version of an avatar. Just that stigma of either walking into the office or having to be seen, which sometimes is challenging. We are having VR and AR virtual doctor's visits. This is not in the future. This is not make-believe. It's insane that you can have a full-on, put goggles over your face and visit Dr. Cavo. And then instead of being like, oh, what are these labs? How do I engage? And then Dr. Cavo being like, the future is here.
And you can see essentially our product roadmap that divides the business to physician outlook that's based on usage and pricing that's based on usage in the time as the patients use either the mobile app, the web app, or the VR app. And then we're also billing on the patient side, B2C, as at $3 a month as people download from the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. All of these are up there now. Please check them out. Make the download today. Now, so far, as you can see, we've dealt with some of the current devices that work for us. But what we can do next is actually add in the smart contracts and the blockchain and the tokenization of owning your own medical data. We see our competitors as either XR Health and Karuna Labs, who recently raised about $10 million, and their VR focus only, and then Noom and Weight Watchers and BetterHelp that are focused on the mobile only. SindyXR combines all of that and de-informationalizes it, which I'd love to talk about more, but I want to try to be mindful of time. What I want you to focus on here is that third line down. We are expanding our go-to-market strategy currently is to integrate with remote patient monitoring firms that the physicians can see the data on their side, and that we think is going to be very repeatable as a business for our engineering team. This is the leadership team, which I can't say enough about, not only in their pursuit of heart health and family work-life balance, but each of their individual ways that they are XR builders and finance people, as well as sales gurus, but also people who are looking to find specifically how these Web3 tools can benefit cardio disease. We're also advised by not only some of our clients who sit on our advisory board, but a number of other incredibly dedicated people looking to improve the global healthcare. And we're doing a pre-seed round of 750,000, which actually we've got about 200 of that soft circled. So if anybody wants to get on board, I think now's the time. SindyXR, that's Cindy with an S. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. It's a fascinating subject, and I hope, I know it's the future. I hope it's the near future of medicine.
It exists today, Lavinia. We can do this today. You and I tried, and we're going to get even better at it, right? And you know what I mean? Buy a headset, check it out, use the mobile today. SindyXR, absolutely an adventure, and we're barely getting started.
Yes, and I know you have more data, research, and you have traction already, physicians and customers that have had great experiences. So
absolutely, and some with horrible experiences, and I think that that's key because we've learned a lot, and we've got rebranding on the horizon. One of the things that we're doing with this pre-seed round is fixing some of those high-level features that Pounds Transformation and one other weight loss diet doctor that's come on have given us, and their patients have told us, fix this, you know what I mean? Like, so we're getting better all the time, and that's one of the amazing things about running this company.
So questions for Charles? Raise your hand or unmute or put it in the chat.
Hey, Charles. Nice, absolutely nice presentation. Thank you so much. It was very, very interesting what you guys are doing. Hope it works. I have a couple quick questions. I'm a physician myself, so I have, from the beginning of the COVID epidemic, transformed my practice to include initially a large, now a smaller percentage of telemedicine. And what I have realized is that the people who are a certain age and above have an extremely hard time with something as simple as FaceTime, or something as simple as, I have e-clinicals, and you'd send a link out to them, and to click the link and download the app, and it was easily a 1-hour venture each time. So how have you addressed this issue?
Dr. Rahman, I cannot empathize or sympathize with you. It is really difficult. Honestly, I started by sitting in the lobby of these 3 locations in Hartford starting last February and began to genuinely say, here's how you put on the headset. Here's the best place for the straps. Here's the mobile device. What kind of diabetes or glucose monitor are you wearing? Or what kind of ketone breathalyzer do you take? I do agree with you that there are certain demographics that I don't think are going to benefit, or at least what we've found so far, and I think what you concur, is that they're not benefiting from this. But in controlled environments, when we do deal with an older population, there's a tremendous amount of escapism and inspiration that comes with VR. So granted, we may, need to partner with home healthcare or, do you know what I mean? Like there are a number of our competitors that are doing really interesting things. Cedars-Sinai, not a competitor, but an amazing, program there with VR prescriptions. And you're absolutely right. The way that we teach, quote unquote, teach the technology is going to be an issue, but I really don't think, I think it's a glass ceiling that eventually I would say if we're at 2007 with the iPhone and all of these wearable devices that are presented on Dr. Chittapalli's amazing, InnovatorMD program here every Thursday, if all of those could be incorporated in only the past 20 years, then 15 years, can we do the same thing with glasses just like these? And can we actually integrate that kind of an overlay for the patient to succeed? Because ultimately, personally, I have to say, when I have to drive by Popeyes in order to get into my weight clinic to weigh in, I'd honestly rather not leave the house. And if I can do my exercise and my meditation and work through a number of my prescriptions prescribed, get my heart rate up and get my resting heart rate down, I think that's a good thing.
Anybody else? Any questions, comments?
Another quick one, Charles. Who's your client? Who's your target client?
So far, we've got sort of two segments. So far, we've got people who are using it as a meeting platform, basically innovative physicians who are looking for new places to expand their business. And then we've got a second set of clients that are picking up just the mobile app and excited about bridging it into VR, but they're using it because of the games and the integration with things like a BioSense and a Dexcom and a number of other, a Polar Watch or your Garmin or your Apple Health, right? And what we did specifically was, I think we've gotten some traction in that mobile health, than just the mobile AR app, in the sense that we're helping patients get rid of like 7 or 8 different apps from a food tracker, my Carb Pal, all of those kinds of things that I think need context. And I think that the games have provided them something that then the doctors are also able to access as medical data.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd love to, get together anytime. Please check out SindyXR. It's Cindy with an S.
Got it.
Thank you, doctor.
Any other comments, questions?